それではただいまより KGAP プラス特別セッション PoC フレンドリー都市のグローバル連携、地球規模課題への挑戦とポスト万博シティとしてのけいはんなの未来創造を開催してまいります。本セッションの司会は株式会社国際電気通信基礎技術研究所 ATR 経営企画イノベーション競争部担当部長の辰巳真紀子様です。辰巳様、どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
はい、ATR 辰巳でございます。本セッション司会を務めさせていただきます。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。もう早速セッションに入りたいと思います。まず最初は本セッションの、紹介といいますか趣旨の方を、説明させていただきます。ATR 代表取締役副社長鈴木博之よりご紹介いたします。鈴木さん、I'm so sorry. This session will be conducted in English. I completely forgot it. So please start your presentation in English, please, because there is a Japanese subtitle over there. Sorry.
Okay. So hello everyone. I'm Suzuki of ATL. Today we have a KGAP Plus session 2025. The theme of the session is shown here. Global collaboration of PoC-friendly cities, tackling social and global challenges, and envisioning the future of post-expo city, Keihanna. So a little bit about a history of our sessions. This is a fourth edition of KGAP Plus session. The first session was held 2023, just after COVID becoming stable. So we try to showcase the collaboration that is very important. Then we have a session next year, Art and Technology Village Kyoto, together with Innovation Royal College of Arts. And last year we had a session on Global R&D Incubator Summit. So today we have very distinguished four panelists from all over the world. The first one is Mr. Brian L. Johnson, and coming from Curiosity Lab at P3 Corners, Georgia, the US. And then Dr. Xavier Selva, coming from Government of Catalonia, Spain. And then Mr. Shigekata Mizuno, coming from Kyoto Research Park, Kyoto. And I myself acting as also speaker and the moderator. And we have signed a MOU with Catalonia 3 years ago. And we have also signed a MOU with Kyoto Research Park yesterday. And we plan to sign a MOU with Curiosity Lab at Peachtree Corners in November. So they are coming from our core partners, and we will do something together, something innovative together. So they have their own roles in a PoC-friendly city. Curiosity Lab is pushing an initiative in mobility, and Catalonia is very famous for utilizing open data of governmental related data. And KLP is pushing science park collaboration, and Keihanna Science City is very active in POCs with local residents. So the program is composed of 3 parts. The opening remarks and session overview is now being held by myself. And then we allocate 10 minutes for each panelist to explain what they're doing. And we will start a panel discussion with all the panelists for 40 minutes. So the goal of this session is to explore the potential for addressing the social and the global challenges through collaboration with Keihanna and also together, and envisioning the future of Keihanna Science City as a post-expo city. And I hope that session can draw concrete insight towards realizing this vision. So thank you very much, and enjoy this session together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Suzuki-san. All right, so let's move to the presentation session. Yeah, as Suzuki-san mentioned, the first speaker is Mr. Brian Johnson, city manager, city of Peachtree Corners, Georgia, USA, and also he is vice chair of Curiosity Lab. Yeah, please welcome Mr. Brian Johnson again.
So thank you for this opportunity. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something that we're doing in the Southeast U.S. And that is a project that has ultimately been born out of our economic development activities. So as a brief precursor to this, this is where we are in the U.S. We're part of the 7 million person metropolitan Atlanta area. That's downtown Atlanta in the background. And as a municipality, as all municipalities in the world, we have a product that we're selling just like the private sector, and that's our community. And so you're always looking for ways to make your community stand out. What makes it unique? Why do people want to create jobs there, move there, recreate there? And we're no different. And so 7 years ago, we embarked on an effort to really look critically at our city and determine a way that we might be able to set ourselves apart from other municipalities. And we happened to be sitting on a very unique amenity, and that is inside our city had been the state of Georgia's very first technology park. This is a park that had been constructed so that all the offices are filled by technology companies that will end up, feeding and benefiting from each other's existence. And this technology park has grown over the years. It's over 500 acres now, 200 hectares. So it's got 10,000 employees in it. It's an important economic driver for us, but it separates us from a lot of other cities in the US or in the world. Not every city has a technology park. Well, that's fine, but then we were like, but inside this technology park are all these city streets, all this public right-of-way, travel lanes for cars, sidewalks, street lights, traffic signals, all these things that only the public sector can own, operate, and regulate. So what might we be able to do with that to even further attract companies to our city beyond this technology park? And so we decided to take all this public right-of-way and turn it into a living laboratory for companies to use for their innovative and emerging technology needs. So we created an ecosystem, and it is more than just one thing. It's, this 500 acres. It's a vehicle that we allow companies to use that are in the mobility space. It's, the city streets of the future where all of our utility, all of our traffic signals can talk to street lights, can talk to cars, can talk to people's phones if they're capable of it. And so this thing called Curiosity Lab was created, and when you think, okay, you took your public right-of-way and you turned it into, you create this sandbox and you invited companies to come play, so what? Well, here's a picture of one of our intersections. Now, with the exception of the 2 autonomous vehicles that are crossing it, which is a little bit, rare, that intersection could be any other intersection. But what you don't see is the companies who have taken what we as a municipality did to create this sandbox, and these companies are using it for their own purposes. You can see you've got companies testing video as a sensor, or 5G, or vehicle-to-vehicle, vehicle-to-infrastructure, communication, all sorts of things that you can't see to the naked eye because we made it available for companies to come use. All of those are different companies doing testing at the same intersection. And so, to borrow a phrase from a famous American movie, if you build it, they will come. Field of Dreams, that's what's happened here. So this ecosystem, the use cases that we've had from it are, I'll give you just a few examples. One is certainly in the autonomous and automated vehicle space. These roads, all this stuff is filmed at location. And so these are autonomous vehicles testing, operating on a roadway that already have human-driven automobiles that people live at, work at, play at. And it's allowed them to test in an environment that's real world. It's not flat, it's not straight, it's got trees and buildings and people. And that makes POCs and scaling POCs complicated. And we're not a closed course. We're that first step in the second step in what you would consider the crawl, walk, run. You crawl by testing in a closed environment. You walk at our living lab. And then if you're really good and it works out, then you can run in an urban downtown environment like downtown Atlanta, downtown Tokyo, so on and so forth. So other use cases that have come through, everything from autonomous vehicles, teleoperated package delivery, underground high-speed package delivery, multiple in-cabin experiences on that vehicle on the top left that is actually owned by the lab. And these are just examples where when you provide that environment for companies to come, they will come with all sorts of unique stuff. We as a municipality are not guiding them, not trying to tell them to test in any one area or not. We are just saying, come play in our sandbox. Couple other ones on the left, especially one bottom left, company deployed 100 teleoperated e-scooters that they tested by having humans that were in Mexico City driving scooters to you, and then you got on the scooter, you took it over. When you were done, the human would take it back over and move it to another location where it could be used. A use case that they were testing to see if maybe they could, deal with clutter of e-scooters and other stuff. Drone activity, drone batteries, automated battery swap, just different use cases. Obviously, smart transportation is very important too. So we've got companies doing all sorts of testing of smart intersections, and even the bottom left picture is a partnership with Audi, who's putting on dashboard basic safety messages and telling the driver of the vehicle when they're running into vulnerable road users like pedestrians, cyclists, so on and so forth. They can do that because we provided the environment. Finish up a few, last one, use cases, obviously in traffic too, using LiDAR, video as a sensor, other metrics to enhance. All of these are private companies that have just asked to use the facility, and we've let them. The facilities, this is the facility's headquarters. We have about 200 square meters of incubation and corporate innovation space. So we incubate early stage startups to use the facility as well. And then we've got the big corporations that have said, hey, we're doing some innovative things in certain areas. Can we come and become a partner and to have a presence on an ongoing basis instead of just a, one or two time use case? And as a international landing pad for companies looking to enter the American market. We're a soft landing pad because of all this, and we have a lot of companies coming from international locations to enter America through our facility. They get to be introduced to companies. They get, advice and support on legal, financial, other regulatory things. And it's resulted in even some, recent partnerships, including on the left, our recent one we signed with MUFG. And that has allowed those partnerships, these resources have allowed this ecosystem to grow to what it is today. I'll close with the last two slides. One is just think about our facility. What makes it really unique is we decided to do this without or while removing the barriers to entry that you oftentimes see. So for instance, we do not charge to use our facility. It's free to use. We are the only governmental entity you have to deal with, so there's not a lot of bureaucracy. We do not require intellectual property ownership of anything invented or created there. And, we have all the support of the type of infrastructure from 5G to, other supporting infrastructure. That's really what makes us unique and why it's thriving. And so I'll close with this 60-second video because despite my best efforts, you can never do as well explaining something than a video. And I'll close and tell you thank you for giving me this opportunity. But this would be, in closing, essentially a day in the life of Curiosity Lab and how companies have come and are using it all over, across all over sectors. And in that, I will close and thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brian Johnson. It's a very rich environment. Okay, so next speaker is Dr. Javier Silva, General Director of Knowledge Transfer and Society Ministry of Research and University, the Government of Catalonia, Spain.
Okay, so sorry about it. Minasama, ohayo gozaimasu, and gozeichu, arigato gozaimasu. Sorry for my pronunciation.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Here.
Arigato gozaimasu. Thank you very much for the opportunity. For us, ITR is a key partner for the Catalan government, so we were happy here to be able to at least demonstrate this collaboration, and also we're here also to try to improve and increase this collaboration as we said previously in the terms of knowledge exchange and transfer within the universities and the research centers. I will give you like a quick glance and overview of the Catalan government and the ecosystem, and also some instruments that can allow us to provide or to promote this knowledge exchange and therefore this POC taken to the society or to the market. In Catalonia, we're not outside this European political context. No? What we've seen recently in Europe, the political guidelines are that we must invest much more in research and innovation. I mean, we have to move from innovation to commercialization. We have to scale up our startups. We have to try to align the necessities from the society and try to provide economic growth. And also what we have to try to do in Europe, I mean, and these reports, Draghi, Letta, and Manuel Heitor, also try to tell us that we have to oversee which is our, let's say, breakthroughs and disruptive technologies that can provide us this added value at the end of the day. No? And going more focused on the Catalan government, we have several programs in this new mandate. One is the Catalan government plan that we have, or at least I have this mandate from the president to become one of the 50 most innovative regions in the European Union at 2030. Also, we have a plan, an economic plan, which is called Catalonia Leads, Catalonia Lidera, that tries to recover the leadership, Catalonia, the economic leadership in Europe and also in Spain, and also try to oversee new ways of public-private partnership in that sense. And also we have the action plan from the research of the universities and ministry, which also the main objective is try to use knowledge as that engine that is able to transform social and economically our society. Facts and figures. One thing, you have here many facts and figures of our performance in the Horizon Europe, in the Research and Innovation European Framework Program. Among these facts and figures, what we can tell you is the bottom line is that we are the third region in Europe in terms of EU capturing funds, the second region with more projects in our Europe, and the second region with more coordinated projects with European funds. Therefore, Catalonia can be also a gate, an entrance gate for those European funds in Europe. I mean, our performance is good. We are with Munich, like the third region, which is not a capital or from a state member, which has this great performance. So it's also something to take into account from the competencies and capabilities of Catalonia. As I said before, we have this mandate from the president, position Catalonia among those 50 most innovative leading regions in the EU. As you can see here, this is the map from the Regional Innovation Scoreboard 2025. This is an index that measures how much innovative are the regions in Europe. And among the 242 regions in Europe, we are positioned in the 72nd position. And we keep increasing during all the years. So we are on a positive trend on that sense. Also, we've shifted to the strong innovation position. We were strong innovation miners, and now we are in strong innovator and getting there to be an innovation leader in Europe. First innovative region in Spain, and second innovative region in the southern Europe after Occitanie in the south of France. So also good performance on that sense, although there's still many ways to improve over there. More facts and figures about the Catalan knowledge and research ecosystem. We have 12 universities. We have to take into account they have a population of about 8 million inhabitants. From those 12 universities, 7 are public, and the rest of them are private. And we have 307,000 students in all Catalonia. Then in terms of research, we have 58 research centers, some of them, as you can see above, from the Spanish Scientific Council, and 32 of them from the Catalan research ecosystem, which is CERCA. And among all those 58 research centers, we have 19,000 researchers in Catalonia. Also, we have 3 large infrastructures, Barcelona Supercomputing Centers, which is 1,600 researchers over there, and recently they signed an MOU with Fugaku supercomputer. And also we have Alba Synchrotron, which we're talking with Spring 8 and SACLA to also perform a MOU in the next weeks or months. And also we have also the National Center of Genome Sequencing. So those 3 are 3 large infrastructures in the scientific and technological arena that we share also with this member state, which is the Spanish government. Also, we have 2 technological centers, Recateleitat, that also help to bring those necessities or those needs from the SMEs and the industry in the Catalan sector to the market, and also 14 scientific and technological parks. Among that ecosystem also, in the Catalan ministry, we are not alone. We have some tools and instruments to be able to promote our policies. One is the Catalan Foundation for Research and Innovation, which is our, let's say, our arm that brings this scientific culture to society. Also, on one side, CERCA, as I said before, which is the let's say, the foundation that gathers and manages all the research centers. ICREA, which is let's say, it's a tool, it's a program that allows us to capture and attract talent, international talent to Catalonia, which is going really well in performance during the many years. AGAUR, which is our executive agency in terms of calls and competitive funds, and also CESUC, which is the consortium of the university services, which provides all the cloud computing and digital services to universities, and also aggregated purchases in that sense. Moreover, if we go deeper in which instruments we have performed those POCs or those knowledge exchange, we have the knowledge industry program, 10 years already with great performance, where we have deployed 44 million euros, more than 650 programs among 2014 to 2024. And there we have briefly 3 axes. One is the SEED program, which is TRLs 1 to 3. Then with the POC, or the product chapter, which is TRLs from 3 to 5, 18 months and among 150,000 euros. And then we have other 2 programs, which is Innovator, which is contracting persons to innovators within those research groups to be able to deploy that POC, and also Market POC, which is co-investment with private investors on companies or emerging companies. Then on the left, on the right, we have the Advanced Technology Investment Funds, FITA, and this is a co-investment program that we do together with the Catalan government, with the European Investment Fund, and also with private investors. It's 55 million euros to invest together private and public funds with emerging companies. The focus of the investment areas that you see over there are sustainability, medtech, and deep tech. Deep tech understand broadly as all those advanced technologies in several fields. So this we do it in collaboration with the Catalan Public Bank. What else? Also, what we have is the research and innovation networks, and here we have two examples in the booth over there, and are here in the audience also. What we try here is to gather in different sectors all the academic groups on certain fields to be able to translate the findings or the assets on the academia to the market. And we have, right now we have 11 networks, some of them on the agri-tech or agro-food field, like agri-tech network, which is over there in the booth. Other ones on the artificial intelligence also, blue economy, pediatric innovation, several markets that have the specific demand. We provide the network as a support to be able to valorize that projects. On the other side, we also have industrial PhDs. These are PhDs that are done together with academic institution and with the industry in Catalonia. Already deployed 7 million euros since 2012 and 1,000 and hardly 200 projects or PhDs done together with companies in that sense. Also, an indirect way to be able to deploy proof of concept is to capacitate the persons or the personnel in the companies. As also we are dealing the deployment of the lifelong learning micro-credentials program, which tries to align the necessities of the companies or the SMEs in our territory with the actual needs on the market, no? And therefore we try to also deploy these micro-credentials, these continuous lifelong learning information to the workers of the companies. Tech transfer offices for us is a really important tool in the ecosystem. So we try to provide them with all the help we can. Now we're going to deploy a grant of 32.5 million euros to be able to perform activities in protection, valorization, be able to do agreements with companies, and so on. And also, we try to promote as much as we can the entrepreneurial network of the universities, which is shown over there, to be able to promote that entrepreneurial spirit within the European or the university community. And also, last but not least, I think this is the last slide, we also have a program which we're very proud of, is try to bring the universities and the research centers close to the societal needs. And that means putting together the universities and the researchers to talk with the municipalities and also the local governments. Which are the needs of the society? And then afterwards, let's put together the knowledge generators to be able to tackle those solutions. No, this is a program of 55 million euros of co-fund with federal funds, and is going to last 4 years, from 2025, 24 is also some activities can be put together until 2028. And of course, all those challenges have to be aligned with our specialization strategy, the RIS3 CAT, which is also aligned with the with the Agenda 2030 from the United Nations. I think that's all from my side. Happy to answer any questions afterwards. Thank you very much. Arigatou gozaimasu.
Thank you very much. Yeah, very comprehensive the support system. So the next speaker is from Japan. Yeah, Mr. Shigekata Mizuno. He's executive advisor of the Kyoto Research Park Corporation. So, thank you.
Thank you very much. So, thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to talk with an excellent American and European regions. So at first, I will explain our parks and then about PoC. And research park itself is a place to the many companies, enterprises, and startups together and seek innovation and a new industry and new business. And so our park is located at the center of the city. So here is Kyoto Science City, but Kyoto Research Park is located in the center of the Kyoto city. And our park is very small to compare in the Peachtree. So they have 200 hectares, but our site is almost 6 hectares. And there is 18 buildings, and the total floor area is 200,000 square meters. And there are, and so I think so. This is separated two areas, east area and west areas. East area was opened 36 years ago. And so this is a private research park. So there are many kind of science parks in the world, maybe 1,000 in the world, and mostly operated by national government and regional government and university or research institute and private companies, and maybe so all together is done. But we are 100% private research park. So it's so then very not huge project in Kyoto is so maybe in the Japanese size science park. And basically, so our site is an gas companies and factory site to make an city gas and change to area liquefied natural gas to the gas plant closet. So the Kyoto Research Park was designed as a redevelopment project of ex-gas park as a science park. And there were public support institute from Kyoto Prefecture and Kyoto City. And Kyoto Prefecture and Kyoto City make an technology support center and research institute to support local companies as the one-stop service center in Kyoto. So now we start as a technology combinate in Kyoto. And there is 500 companies in the parks and 6,000 people are working. And we are not specific technology field. So as you see, an ICT and the healthcare, biotech, and the machinery, device, and electricity. So a combination of the technology field. But I think so there is a collaboration between the different field of technologies, so make innovations. So we provide the spaces like a laboratory space and office spaces because so our business is to rent a space and rental fee is our main income. But we don't provide a space, but we also have a program to help innovations from startups and small companies. And for example, Healthcare Venture Conference Kyoto, HVC Kyoto, is a pitch contest for healthcare ventures. And the conference is held in English because so we help that these startups to go into a global market. More than 20 ventures of life science gathers and make presentations, and they could raise big money after the presentation. And so we work with many companies or institutes, and including an ATR is the global partners. Thank you very much. And we collaborate with the universities and make a MOU with some, including the Kyoto University original and other universities. And we make a science cafe with universities to support young researchers to make presentation and discuss with companies' researchers. And we are a member of an international science park networks. We are the only member from Japan to IASP, the International Association of Science Parks and Areas of Innovation. And also we are a member of Asian Science Park Association, ASPA. And we have a global network and have a business alliance with 6 global research parks with one new one is in Malaga Tech Park in July in Spain, and Italy and China and Taiwan. And the newest partner is an ATR. So we make an collaboration alliance yesterday. So using these networks, and so we think our park is very fit for the POC or an exploration, because so now we managed of the whole land and the whole buildings. So in making experiment in real city, so the smart city project, so it is difficult to make an alliance of the many stakeholders. But in KRP, so it's easy because just we allowed of the experiment. And so we co-work with the Kyoto Prefecture, and Kyoto Prefecture runs the Kyoto Big Data platform. So now we are a member of the Kyoto platform, and there are more than 100 stakeholders join, and the public or industry from the academia. And they are on the many field of technologies, and so the member make a workshop like in smart mobility, smart security, and smart parking. And so in KRP, so there is an experiment of smart district. So now, as I said, so KRP is a good district to go make an experiment in the place. 2021, the smart city, smart district working was started. And there is these companies joined like an NTT Communication or Cisco Systems and other small companies of a sensor or Wi-Fi beacon or map data or congestion analysis. So they have a project. At the time, so there is coronavirus, and we have to keep on separate. And so we must avoid the congestions. So now using these companies and the sensors and data platform, we make some system to search of the congestion, like the lines, congestion in the restaurant or another outside. So if the congestion, the sensor send signal and make caution on the smart signage or line applications. So, and it's the first experiment of the POC experiment in the KRP field. And after that, sorry, there are many experiments. So we are in a science technology park. So we think it's very important. So many new experiment and innovative experiment is held in the parks. So the food delivery service and using the digital twin technologies or the greenhouse gas emission monitoring. It's just a water dispenser or compact mobility vehicle or indoor positioning system using the air marker and the smartphone. And then we start framework of the distributed corporate operation of multiple mobility systems. It's a digital agency experiment, and the Kyoto City and KPMG tried. And this year is basically, an experiment was held in the Keihanna. And this year, so the two plays, Keihanna and KRP, will be held at the same time too, and we make an experiment collaborating together. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mizuno. Okay, the last presenter is Dr. Hiroyuki Suzuki. He's a Senior Executive Vice President of ATO, Advanced Technology Research Institute International.
Okay, so hello once again. I'm Suzuki of ATL. So I'd like to talk about Keihanna, a living lab city for resident-driven innovation and POC testing. So a little bit about Keihanna Science City. We have over 150 R&D-related organizations. They're mostly R&D center of industries. And we are selected together with Osaka and Kobe, Hyogo, as a global startup city, once again by the Cabinet Office of the Japanese government this July. And Keihanna Science City is one of the key players of this ecosystem. And there are three advantages to innovation in the Keihanna Science City. We are, of course, strong at R&D, and we are POC friendly, and we are globally open. So we start the construction of Global Innovation Collaboration Network about 8 or 9 years ago from the scratch, from zero. And now we are working with over 1,300 organizations, including over 580 organizations in 47 overseas countries. And we do something innovative together, and to make our collaboration official and sustainable, we sign MOU. And organization with which we sign MOU, we called core partners. Now core partners are composed of actually 32 because we signed the MOU with Kyoto Research Park yesterday, and part in 19 countries, and including 11 universities and research institutes of 10 countries. So best utilizing this network, what to try to do is to connect deep tech solutions, solutions of deep tech startups with the needs or asks of Japanese enterprises, either starting with solution or issues of Japanese companies. Also, as a research institute, we try to input research seeds before launching the company or business into the same platform, KGAP Plus, it's our acceleration program, to knock on the market, and whether the sound is good, we may have potential market. So we launch a company or a business unit of subsidiary corporation. So Cosine and Cosine Plus is a platform to take issue-driven approach. We first know the knowledge, information of the issues of Japanese companies, and try to create a best effort team to solve the issue effectively and quickly by working with startups and by working occasionally with universities. So one of the examples of this KGAP Cosine is POC with local residents for a company called Torre Construction. They started a new type of agriculture in which they use sand instead of soils. And they want to get scientific evidence that new type of agriculture is effective in reducing your stress level. So we visited Israel and California to select the startups and took them to Keihanna Science City, and first did just 3 days POC, and then we select one startup from Israel and had a very big POC together with somewhere around 200 residents. And what we found is really the sand culture is effective in reducing your stress level. So next example of our POC is to try to tackle the issues of local towns called Wazuka. Wazuka is located just a 30-minute drive from Keihanna Science City, but they have issues of depopulation and the kind of issues in Japanese tea industries. So what we try to do is also we find solutions from a startup of Canada and Spain and try to tackle the issues relevant to Japanese tea industries. And what is also very important is we also brought young talents around here. What I mean is a high school student of nearby, and to take this initiative together. So this is a kind of entrepreneurship education in a way. So this year is a very special year because we have World Expo, Osaka, Kansai. But what we are also conducting our own expo called KGAP Expo 2025. And we selected 4 projects among 19 projects. So we first, in a phase 1, we selected, as I said, 4 projects from 19 entries. And in phase 2, we prepared the POC. And we had a showcase event at the venue of Osaka Expo on April 30th. And phase 3, we conducted POC together with local residents, which I will explain in a minute. And we had a kind of outcome showcase event 2 days ago at the venue of Osaka Expo. So this is an initiative called KGAP Expo Global Startup POC Challenge. I try to showcase our strengths in innovation. What I mean is we are strong at R&D, and we are POC friendly, and we are globally open. So this is the outline of selected 4 POCs. The project tried to tackle 4 big social issues in Japan, and also maybe worldwide. The first one is regional issues, and then aging issues, and environmental issues, and healthcare issues. By working with 6 startups coming from Canada, Taiwan, and Japan, each project tried to tackle these social issues. So one example of the project is 7 families allowed us to set up sensors for 24 hours, and they monitor the elderly people, how they move within their house. By training AIs, the startup utilizing, they can predict and prevent a falling down of elderly people in their house. So these projects are exhibited next to the main entrance, so you can see by yourself what our project is going on, what's the outcome of these POCs. And what is also very important is, as I said, Kena Science City is very good at local residents to participate in the POC. So we worked with local residents, we utilized these facilities, KIC, and we utilized sports gym located in Kena Science City. So we showcase our activities a couple of times, either here in Kena Science City or the venue of World Expo Osaka Kansai. So the weather was really fine, and that was too hot for us to conduct pitching and also exhibit. So the secret of Kena Science City is, I can say, we have a very good association called Club KGAP, in which about 3,800 members are registered this association. So if the startup want to do POC together with local residents at the age of maybe 60 to 70 for 20 subjects, you can count on this association. We just order how many subjects you need and what's the age range you need. So the association select 20 people, for instance, to do POC together with startups. So we are now constructing this type of a global deep tech innovation network composed of 3 types of global network. The first one is R&D network. The other one is university incubator network. And the last one is acceleration network. So if we put the names of our core partners, it's becoming real. But still, there's like a big gap between the social implementation of this system. So by working with 3 panelists here, so we can add on another network called Global PoC Hub Network that can make us nearer to the implementation of research outcome in real world. And by utilizing our expertise in working with our local residents, we can confirm whether innovative technology can be really adopted by people. Yes, so we can check the social responsibility, social acceptability, and social adaptability. That's also very important to implement innovative technology in real world. So as a post-expo city, we want to realize a seamless society in which we can break all barriers to create a seamless society and to realize a human-centered city with various innovation capabilities. The first one is lead innovation with cutting-edge science and technology seamlessly, and then cultivate and produce global innovation talent seamlessly, and then create innovation with non-uniform and diverse value seamlessly. So last one means we have long history and very unique culture here in Kyoto and the Kansai area. So we want to pay best respect to this, our history and culture. So we want to create our own ecosystem for innovation. So to showcase this vision, we had an event here in Kansai City as a startup festival on July 25th, in which we invite all the innovative talents from high school students, university students, and startup companies and innovation supporters are coming here together from many countries and many organizations. This is a kind of a small version of the vision of a seamless society. Okay, thank you very much, and looking forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Suzuki. So now we will move on the panel discussion. So to the panelists, may I ask take your seat in the stage? Yeah, thank you. So again, the panelist, the moderator is Dr. Hiroyuki Suzuki from ATL, and the panelist, Mr. Brian Johnson from Curiosity Lab, and Mr. Dr. Javier Silva from Government of Catalonia, and Mr. Shigekata Mizuno, I'm sorry, from Kyoto Research Park. Okay. So now Dr. Suzuki will be proceeding this panel discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Max-san. So today we have 4 distinguished panelists from all over the world, Europe, the US, and Japan, Kyoto. So we try to discuss, as I said, how we can collaborate each other as post-PoC friendly cities. I have prepared 3 questions, and I'd like to ask 3 questions one by one for each of panelists. The first question is on priority challenges and approaches. So, Mr. Brian, you mentioned Curiosity Lab is mostly focusing on mobility. So the innovation in mobility, maybe I think it's composed of 3 parts. Innovation by Innovation for mobility, innovation by mobility, and innovation of mobility. So what you are doing is all includes 3 types of innovation on mobility, right?
That's correct.
Yes, and why you focusing on mobility? The local residents, as a taxpayer, ask you to do so, or what's the reason why you're focusing on mobility?
Well, the answer to that, maybe a little bit surprising, is we're not actually focusing on that. The reason that there is more activity in that space is merely because those who are innovating in that space found our environment to be, comprising of the least amount of barriers to do that. So what we're trying to solve is, there's a lot of innovation going on, a lot of emerging tech that are out there to solve some of the societal challenges that we have. Some of the, governmental challenges and so on and so forth. We're not particularly asking for one challenge or working on one area. What we're focused on is trying to create the most flexible, inviting environment for those companies and organizations that are doing great stuff. Maybe they can do it a little bit faster because there's less bureaucracy, or it's cheaper to do it, or we have partnerships that we can leverage. But the mobility is a byproduct of us creating that environment, and then our residents and our business community ultimately benefit from it because of that environment we created.
Okay, so you explained what you are doing already, but still, is there any competitor or doing similar things in the world? Yes?
Oh, there's a lot of, great things people are, doing in this space. We just try to keep our finger on, what the companies that are using our space, what do they need? What are they finding is some obstacle that they've got to clear? Is there something we can do to help further it along? We're kind of, one step behind in the background a little bit, just making sure that the sandbox that they're playing in has all the right toys, that everybody's playing together well, because not all mobility, organizations and companies always play well. Just look at the automotive industry. They oftentimes are fighting amongst themselves. We try to, be the parent sometimes, but our job is to just provide support for it. And as they scale locally, we try to also leverage that to provide value to our residents, because they are the taxpayers. They're the ones who live amongst it. But our hope is, two things. One, this technology ends up scaling in a larger national, international way, and we all benefit from it. Maybe that technology, that innovation came from Curiosity Lab, but that's one. And the other one is just that activity makes us as a community healthier. It makes Curiosity Lab a little bit better because there's been new thought, new partners, new users, new collaborations, and we benefit economically from that. And so we, want the benefit locally, and then we want the scalability of these POCs to be something that internationally we all can enjoy.
So you act as a kind of executive salesman, in a way.
In a way, absolutely.
Yes, and okay, I'm thinking about whether we can collaborate or not. Yes, and we are looking for similar partners in mobility, for instance. What's the uniqueness? How you persuade me to collaborate with you?
Well, I kind of said it during the presentation. First, we're the only governmental entity you have to deal with, so there's not a lot of bureaucracy. I don't have to have another level of government to approve what you're doing. We don't charge to use the facility. So if companies want to bury things in our public space, want to hang things on our utility pole, want to, use our roadway, they can do it for free. We don't charge rent. We don't charge user fee. We don't require intellectual property ownership. So universities love to play in that sandbox because IP is, very much their currency. And so by us not saying, well, you just created this here, we want a little bit of the royalties, that can scare people off. And then we ended up partnering with a lot of companies that make the ecosystem very unique. I'll just use one, for instance. T-Mobile Deutsche Telekom is one of our partners. They have installed both a public and a private 5G wireless environment for everybody to use for free, and they have on-site staff that are prepared to help the technical, help resolve the technical things to, use 5G as a way to scale a POC. So I would say when you combine those things in an environment in which, it's in the public, you actually get public interaction. It's not a private, isolated environment. that I'm not sure anywhere in the world offers all of those things in one bundle. That would be my proposition to you.
Thank you very much. So the same question to Javier-san. Okay, so you are coming from Catalonia government, so maybe looking very widely, yes? But, are you any focusing area
Yeah.
government?
I think that our focusing areas are also, as I said previously in my presentation, I mean, are really aligned, which is the European scenario landscape nowadays. What we've seen in COVID previously is that we lost this capacity of production, no? Or being having this strategic autonomy, or being able to be, how you say in that sense, sustainable in terms of technology, no? Therefore, what we're right now really investing is in technology that can make us autonomous in an European sense. I mean, Catalonia cannot be autonomous whatsoever, but yes, let's say in a European scenario. And that means, for example, semiconductors. That means artificial intelligence. That means quantum computing, decarbonization. We have a huge challenge of decarbonization in our industry in Europe, and this is something we're really looking forward on. Health, for example, is also a priority, but health focused on ATMPs, I mean advanced therapies, gene therapies, and cell therapies, and that's more or less what we are focused on. I mean those technological fields that will provide us that advantage at the end of the day, that will provide us autonomous. And in that sense, we are also investing in several infrastructures. In terms of semiconductors, we are beginning next year the construction of not a foundry, but an infrastructure and be able to cover that gap from the lab to fab to the design of new chips, new semiconductor chips nearby the synchrotron I just showed you before. On decarbonization, we're also planning to do a decarbonization research center in the south of Barcelona. We have all the petrochemistry industry over there, and also in terms also of agriculture or agro-food field also is something where we have to invest in the future.
Thank you. So if my understanding is correct, so one of the uniqueness or strongness of Catalonia is to provide startups and open data relevant to governmental activities. Yes, is that right?
we have, I mean, we would say that one of our strengths, I would say, is our research performance. As I said before, we have a great research performance. And here you have some examples in the field of research centers, research institutions, and universities that do perform great research. Maybe where we are not so strong, but we get in there is on the transfer of the research. I mean, be able to transfer it to the market, no? But doing research good in terms of publications, in terms of percentage of the population that have that tertiary education, PhDs. We are also outstanding in terms of Europe. Now we have to invest much more on how we translate that research, not in a linear way, but to the market. And also a good asset that we have is performance on capturing European funds, as I said before.
You are also good at executive business education.
Yeah, we have school business in ESADE, IESE, or EADA. We have a school business in Barcelona. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So Mizuno-san, similar question to you. So you're coming from a research part. So you mostly support startups and other innovation players, and also you do innovation by yourself. Yes. How do you manage to do so, and what's your uniqueness and the strong
And
point?
basically,
Yeah.
so we rent and space for innovating startups or companies. So now we are not our researchers. So that PoC or such an innovation programs depend upon the who apply or who conduct their activities.
Yeah, but among your activities, I think the HVC is a very unique and strong point of your activity. Can you explain a bit more about HVC?
HBC, yes. HBC is, so there we have laboratories. So in a wet laboratory for pharmaceutical or chemical and healthcare companies. And so there are so many healthcare companies and come to our parks. and we have a collaboration with Kyoto universities to considering such situations. So we want to make more startups from Kyoto and help them to go abroad. So to talking with a professor of Kyoto University, so we make a conclusion to have an
Sorry
global
for interrupting. So HBC stands for healthcare venture. Or something.
Yes, healthcare ventures.
Yes, yes. It's a very big event for healthcare and medical startups. Yes. Yes. Continue. Yes.
Oh, yeah. So, yes, so it's like not a POC, but it's and like in the community, it's not just pitch event. So now we still keeping in touch with client and so go help their business.
So you are a member of ISPA
ISP, yeah.
and the ASPA. How different Kyoto Science Park is from other science parks?
As I said, so most of the parks are now operated by national government or local government and very close to the industrial and policy of such governance. But we are private, so our strong is we can decide independent and freely. But connection with policy or some method is we using such a political frame is difficult.
Okay, thank you. So I move on to the second question. Maybe I will ask first Javier-san. Okay. So we are HRO Research Institute. We are producing a variety of research outcomes every day, every year. Yet, but still quite difficult to implement or commercialize research outcomes. And you explained you have a lot of universities, very good. And that still you have a challenge how to implement these research outcome to the society. Is there anything specific and anything unique to realize this?
No, I hope I had the magic recipe, but also it's the same. It's the same here. Yeah, we have great research. Something that we're trying to improve in Catalonia is, as I said, you saw the regional innovation scoreboard, no? We're very good on PhDs, very good on scientific publications. But for example, we are lacking to implement those needs of the SMEs or the companies, or introduce innovations on the processes, on the products, on the services, on the companies. That's where we are lacking, no? I mean, yeah, I mean, something that we have to improve is on performing those, I would not say sandboxes yet, but those pilots or those test beds where we can promote. As I said previously, that infrastructure in fab on semiconductors pretends to be like a huge, clean room to be able to perform those piloting on the design, on the new design, for example, on chips, and that can be afterwards be extrapolated to other technologies. So I think that more spaces for piloting are needed. And also, if we perform research for research with no focus, then afterwards the implementation on society, on the market is going to be much more difficult. If we perform programs where we put either the company at the beginning and in the center with the researchers, or the society, and that means maybe the municipality or the civil society together with the researchers at the beginning, the easier would be implemented. Then afterwards also we have regulatory barriers and logistic barriers that sometimes is more bureaucracy, more hard in some ecosystems than others, no? But I think that the key, and maybe we hope we succeed, for example, in some of these programs, is trying to have the needs of those of the companies or the society from the very first beginning, to try to address the research and afterwards the transfer.
Thank you. So, Brian-san, sorry. So I asked maybe 2 days ago the similar question. Can you explain a bit about academic environment of Georgia and the Peachtree Corners?
Well, you know, when you talk about trying to create an environment, a proving ground, a sandbox that has a lot of support behind it, infrastructure is certainly one, but it also needs to come from academia, from startups, from people who are thinking outside the box, who are doing research into things. So what we've done is, you know, recognize that that's a key supporting effort for any type of POC that you want to move forward, or environment that is conducive and healthy for POCs. So first, making sure that we get the right mix of universities, the right departments within those universities that are there to support it, get their attention, get them to see the value. And then maybe more difficult than even that is once you do, there's constantly this ebb and flow of a good idea, people get excited, you start moving things forward, and then it just starts to grind slower and slower. People start losing interest, they lose patience, sometimes lose money. And part of our job is to continue to, you know, inject energy, you know, provide focus to the ultimate goal, find out what can we do to keep the inertia, the speed of it going. If you have the right mix of, you know, research, you know, young minds thinking through these things from fresh perspective, the capabilities that these research institutes have, you'd be surprised what you can solve, but you just got to keep them all headed in the right direction, and you just got to keep your finger on the whole thing. And again, as a facilitator that we as a city government are, our job is just to kind of facilitate, make sure relationships stay strong, make sure people are pulling in the same direction. That tends to be the biggest challenge for us, is not getting them initially, it's keeping them motivated, focused, and you know, pushing their expertise into this process.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, completely agree with Brian said. I mean, we have to be facilitators in the administration. I mean, now we realized also in the Catalan government, and we're trying to do a reform of the administrative issues, not only in research and innovation, but also daily procedures. We have to make things easier for the research centers, easier for the companies, because, I mean, that's also a key issue in implementation and an adoption of the innovation to society. Is, I mean, if you make things much not easier, then afterwards it will take too long, and you will have waste of energy, and then afterwards diminish. And also another important issue is there's always a risk. So try to diminish the risk is our business also. When we try to co-invest with private investors on those early stages on the projects, we have to be there as administration. It's our duty to diminish the risk, because the lower is the risk for the private investors, then the project can be successful or not, but more chances that is afterwards implemented in that sense.
Okay. So maybe question for two of you. And we are conducting acceleration program by accepting startup coming from Japan and overseas. And we also provide them with outbound program, which means we bring startup, Japanese and overseas, to other countries. Yes. Do you have any experience and example of working with overseas startup in your initiative in Curiosity Lab or in Catalonia?
We absolutely do. We run an incubation program, and we realize that we're, again, only as good as others who are doing great things in this area. So we have partnerships with a number of incubators in countries like Taiwan, Israel, France, Czech Republic, and what our aim is to create bi-directional, two-directional pipelines for ideas, for data, information, and even some cases physical startups going to another location. You know, we certainly are sitting in a market, the American market, that there's a lot of people and a lot of money can be made there. It's a big market. But we have companies that are small that are also looking to expand elsewhere in the world. And they'll ask us, hey, we'd like to, say, expand into Japan. Where should we do it? Who do we talk to? And our relationships allow that to be easier as a result, we've had a number of bricks and mortar, wins. By that I mean we've had organizations like the French American Chamber of Commerce for the Southeast leave the French consulate and come to Curiosity Lab, so they're physically at the facility. The Czech Republic just created an incubator and moved their consulate because they wanted to be there, because they wanted to be as close as possible to that bi-directional opportunity that it poses. And we as an organization, as a governmental administration, also learn all the time how to make it a little bit easier for these startups, have them either fail fast and move on to something that is a good POC, or to be nurturing and making, introductions and helping collaborate to move them along. But we learn a lot as well. But again, it's just as facilitators so that these smart people and smart organizations can do their thing.
Thank you.
Then the answer is yes. I mean, we already have this agreement among Axio, which is our Catalan agency for the competitiveness and ATR, and we have some startups coming back and forward from Spain and Japan. So yes, we have this good practice as an example. I think Barcelona is maybe, I mean Barcelona by the capital of Catalonia, maybe it's like among the 5 top regions or cities on where more entrepreneur or more startups are being funded in Europe right now. So maybe our current model is more the other way around. I mean, we generate many startups, which afterwards they go they expand all over the world. In many cases, sometimes because bureaucracy, as we said, in Europe sometimes is pretty hard. And for example, in the health field, it's much more easier to adopt an innovation through FDA and in the US market than maybe in the European market. No, so still we are more maybe exporting knowledge in that sense. But also a good thing is that in some cases our investors, our local investors, are partnering with other international investors, and those also in a direct way. It's gathering also some other startups which are also co-invested with these international investors and our investors to come to Barcelona and oversee. But I think it's, in summary, I mean, I think it's worthy enough to be able to export. I mean, you cannot provide all the solutions by your own. I mean, collaboration is the key, and gathering knowledge and sharing knowledge is the key. So we cannot provide all the solutions to our industry or to other industries. So gathering startups from all over the world to be able to provide solutions with our knowledge generators to our industry or to foreign industries is something we are really keen on.
Yes, I agree. So Mizuno-san, so you are running a space for companies. And if first we accept startup from Catalonia and Georgia, Curiosity Lab, and they want to stay in Japan and open the office.
Yes, we are welcome.
How do you support this startup?
So the many support is necessary to found housing or find a school for their families, and of course have matchings and also partners, so that we can find all the partners of the and to connect to the universities and some investors. Yes, we know them. We are not. We ourselves is not an investor, but we have a network with an investor, so that we can introduce investors for the startups.
So you have lab, wet lab, and do you have co-working space for startup?
Yes, as a co-working space is the first step to have in the searching of the market, and we have wet laboratories for the chemical or bio companies. So they can have an explanation here, theirs. So so our location is at the center of the city of Kyoto, so it's easy to connect to the market or another business companies, or to when you go to Tokyo, so it's easy to take a bullet train. So Yes.
Do you have overseas companies in residence?
Yes, we already have almost 30 global companies from abroad companies.
Yes, please.
And also an interesting issue would be how about the connection with the validation places? No? For example, in clinical trials in that sense, or industries where you can validate your prototype. You also can provide that.
Yeah. So we want to have a validation of what types of chemical you use to it's within the limitation or so some orders. And validation for the business is so very necessary, but we are not public incubators. So we welcome of the many kinds of business. So it's not so important.
Yes, we can, for instance, introduce startups or your people to medical school of universities and many Japanese companies. Yes, we can do that. Yes. Okay, so we have 10 minutes remaining. So maybe we start questionsly, in which we try to discuss how we can collaborate each other. Yes, each panelist organization have the uniqueness and strengths, which is different each other. So we can complementally enhance our activities. So what type of collaboration activities are you looking for? KGAP and other PoC friendly cities. Maybe Javier-san, okay? Can you start?
I was thinking maybe talent exchanges. I mean, research going back and forward with KGAP and Catalonia, I think will be at first glance something we can try to promote. And some of the programs that we do that are mainly local. I mean, local for our community in Catalonia. Do some testing on internationalize them. For example, in the industrial PhDs. I mean, right now it's a research center in Catalonia or university with a company in Catalonia. What about doing an industrial PhD with a triangle with someone here in KGAP? What about those, you previously shown very quickly, which is the industrial valorization or industrial knowledge program that we do promote proof of concepts. Those proof of concepts that we bring to TRL 4 or 5. What about bringing them back even closer to the market together? I don't know, with those projects that we oversee, some kind of common strategic network in terms of projects or talent, try to put them together. Maybe we have to build step by step, no? So maybe one of the programs that we see there, and maybe talent will be on them, try to internationalize them. You know. Maybe also the networks, try to promote our networks which are already internationalized because they are here today. If not, they will not be internationalized. To focus on those international places where the Catalan government has strategic access, and of course, Japan and KGAP is one of them. So maybe follow up with the instruments we have right now.
Just for your information, you mentioned many times about the semiconductors. So there are many good semiconductor companies in Kyoto. Yes, Kyocera and Rome and other countries producing material and devices. So it might be possible.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of semiconductors, sorry, quick. I mean, we just announced 3 big investments, more than 1,000 million euros and more than 400 employees in the next years on 3 infrastructures. One is InnoFab, the other one is DARE, which is production RISC-V architecture for chips, and also photonics chips on the other side. And yeah, so that will be an axe that we will be really looking forward to.
Great. So, Brian-san.
Well, Javier hit on a lot of the good, the points that I agree with. I mean, it kind of comes down to leveraging networks that we've worked hard to create. I mean, a partnership from the perspective of us facilitating those who are looking to go overseas, say Japan, or have hit some sort of a obstacle in as they're trying to push a POC, but knowing who you've had MOUs with, partnerships and conversations, may be an area where like, wait a second, they've been doing this for a little while. Why don't we reach out and let you talk to them? So leveraging that network, obviously wanting to provide you, the alternative, which is when you have companies here that are looking to, again, expand, they need, some assistance to move their POC forward, is to be able to reach out. We certainly, I'm speaking as the government and in control of an environment, it would be, we always like for you to be able to say, I have a location where I know that you're already in, and you can, it's certainly more inexpensive than Silicon Valley or New York City or somewhere like that. And, also you looking at our network, the companies that we have tight relationships with that can maybe help solve problems, invest in companies, scale, or, even purchase POCs, which we've seen. So, it's really, and then, making sure, one thing we sometimes also forget is the cultural challenges sometimes that the business community has between, locations in the world, making sure that you have good relationships with other governmental entities. Like in the case, our case, we have a very good relationship with the Japanese consulate in Atlanta, and with JETRO, organizations whose job it is to facilitate that so that, somebody who comes to that area feels welcome. And oftentimes it could even be not just them, but it was mentioned earlier, their family. Now you've got kids and you've got schools and housing and all that other stuff, and that can make scaling and moving and expanding difficult. And we just see our job as trying to make that a little bit easier, a little bit cheaper, a little bit less scary.
Yeah, sounds great. So, Mizuno-san.
Yes. So now, as I talked about inbound, so now I want to talk on outbound. So if possible, so now we will take our startups to your parks and in areas, because we take 3 startups to Thrush in startup event in Helsinki, and to find an ecosystem and to make a network in Helsinki and Finland or Europe. And next week, so we have a joint program with Mind. It's a Milano Innovation District of the Milano Expo site. And they have science parks. And we have a joint event at the Expo Italian pavilions. So now we take 4 companies at the event, and so match with their open innovation systems to find some relationships to and search and the possibility to enter the market, or have a possibility of a match of their collaborations. So now I want to have if possible, so now we take your areas.
Okay, thank you. So we have 2 minutes, so maybe final words for 30 minutes for each. 30 seconds maybe, Brian-san.
Well, again, thanks for the opportunity. Helping make, life a little bit easier, let us live a little bit longer, create products that just improve quality of life is hard. And there's a lot of challenges, and we are just one small piece, and it's great to develop relationships, meet people that together we might be able to, do a little bit better.
Yeah, well, thank you. First of all, arigato gozaimasu for everything. I mean, for us, for the Catalan government, Japan is a strategic partner. ATR is a strategic partner. Therefore, we're really looking forward to even get more robust collaboration among both.
Thank you.
First, a global network becomes more and more important. So now I would like to first deepen those networks through the Science Park network and KGAP Plus network or another opportunities. Thank you very much.
So thank you very much for the panelists. And all said collaboration is very important, and not only one way, but bi-directional collaboration is which we want to achieve soon. Okay, thank you very much.
So thank you very much. Yeah, we are very happy to explore the collaboration possibility today. So please again, big applause to our great, amazing panelists. Thank you very much.